Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you are excited to see me as much as I'm excited to see you guys. So, I I got this idea, and I decided, I'll do a little survey on my WhatsApp status, and if people say yes, then I'll make this video. And some people say yes, so I'm making the video. So I realized, when someone makes it in life, succeeds at a certain level, doesn't mean they own all the successes, just making it in life. Um, I think when they present themselves or when they are seen in society, people don't see anything else besides that they are successful, or wow, she must be living a good life, or he must be having a really ton of money because they look so presentable, the way they're dressed, the way they're talking, maybe even this English, you're like, oh my god, where did she school, and all those things. Yeah. And then I realized, and then I'm just like, okay, I want to open some people's eyes that, whatever you see as a symbol of success, or whatever you're seeing, I want you to know that it did not come overnight, first of all, and it did not come easy for most of us, including myself, who I'll be sharing some of those difficult things that I found myself in, that I struggled with. It wasn't easy, it wasn't comfortable, but I want people to see that, look, because people have now this thing of you're sabawering someone's life, like you want their life, you feel like they are having perfect life. There's no such thing as perfect life. And some people actually carry their burdens and their struggles so well that you could never guess. That's why you find things going around, like she looks so happy. Yes, she can look happy. It's absolutely very easy to even smile, to fake a smile, let alone happiness. So this video is not about smiles and happiness. It's about you understanding that behind any person, whether you're looking at a CEO, you're looking at a teacher, you're looking at whoever, people have struggled. I would know because I was one of those people that really, really struggled. And my struggle started at a very early age, back then in my life. And at every stage, whether I went to primary school, I went to high school, I went to the hostel, whatever I did, even when I came to work, I do struggle. I have struggles. So I will mention about financial struggle. That is a challenge for a lot of people, especially those coming from humble backgrounds like myself. Humble backgrounds is where resources are tight, I tell you. If you get to eat mahangu pap and spinach, that's enough. Let's not talk about bread. Let's not talk about peanut butter or whatever. Those are luxuries some of us only came to know when we started working ourselves and able to buy those things. So I tell you that, for example, even just access to healthcare. Healthcare in the public sector does not cost an arm and a leg. For example, I remember very well at our clinic, I think it costed as little as $4, 4 Namibian dollars, to get your card a stamp and move forward to the temperature and all those things. We did not have that $4. Often they just write a note or write you in a book that you have debts. But they will still treat you nonetheless, but there was our house is in a village, so to get to the nearest town, which is Onaina, I think it was about $8 for the taxi fare to go. So you would need around $16. If you're going with your mom or your parent, you need about $40, this for transport, and then that for the card. But it was not there. It was not there. You look at me, you can have so many questions how that's possible, but it is possible. That's just one of the very few things. Let's talk about school fee. School fee, I also schooled in the government schools. They are not that expensive. Well, at my time, they were not expensive. Like I made a video and said, in my primary school, I literally had to pay $8 for the whole year. But that $8 had to be scouted with difficulties. Ne? Yo, so I came to, I went to a boarding school, Ekulo Secondary School. Ne? So there's something called out weekend, where the weekend you go home to your parents, to your family, and all these things. There were weekends where I went to the principal's office to ask if I can remain in the hostel, because I know if I go home for that weekend, my mom is gonna struggle to send me back. Just to get that $50 transport to go back is a lot, and I could see it. My eyes opened at a young age. I could see it, that that is difficult, for her to get. She does, you know. Yeah, that's just, it sounds maybe little to you, but it was a big deal. It could mean that if I go home and don't get transport to come back, I will miss class. Missing class can contribute to you failing, and there was no room for failure. Remember, I need to make it out of school to get a job. Even now, jobs are difficult to get, so when you get your education, it kind of helps really in getting selected and all those things. Hey, I was a sickly child. When you get sick, the school would just call your parents. Come get your child, the child is sick. There was a sick bay. The sick bay would get full with those that are sick, so you need to go to the hospital. My mom would walk kilos carrying me on her back because there was no money for the taxi, my friend. I know I'm smiling when I'm talking about it because this is just, I think I have created my own survival mode where I really don't tie a lot of emotions to the story anymore. But in that moment, it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. Despite passing, you can pass. There are a lot of bright kids, but then they don't even make it to institutions to follow their dreams because funds are very tight. I was blessed because from grade 9 to grade 11, I had a scholarship. And I think it's that scholarship that also opened my eyes that there's always possibilities. This was a scholarship from a donor company, and they just they look for bright kids that are struggling. Now I qualified for those criteria: bright, but struggling. So I was funded. So now I got the concept of you can actually ask for help and people will help, although not everyone you ask will help. So in an instant where you ask and people don't help you, don't give up, because maybe your next stop is where someone is going to help you. And there's something about also being open, not too open maybe, or honest about your situation. If you are faking too much that you got all this under control, even if people wanted to help you, they don't know how to start because they're assuming that you're sorted. Yeah? So I talk, and I think that talking really helped me. If I could even hitchhike and say, you know what, I want to go home, I really don't have money, people would just say, okay, hop in, I'll take you. I was already going there anyways. No, Shuambo, I think they say omnakana ihakana, meaning if you are talking, it's very difficult to get lost. Even if you are looking for direction, you have to use your mouth to ask. I mean, unless you really, or also, even if you are you don't maybe talk verbally and you are communicating via sign language or whatever, as long as you talk, people will listen. Maybe not everyone will give you a positive feedback, but there will be that one person, that one organization that will help, or will respond positively. So this is also to encourage you that's why people are saying seek help, not just in mental health, but even in your socio-economic issues. I've sought help. When I came to university, there was drama there. Drama, I tell you. My first year was very hectic. First of all, I was in a course that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do geology. I didn't want to do geohydrology. I wanted to be a pilot. So when it comes to being in a career that you don't want to, or you're doing a course that you don't want to, I also have a bit of experience there. My mind was made up about being a pilot. But as you can see, I'm not a pilot, and I do this job diligently and with a smile. I really, really love my job because I programmed my brain that, look, this is what has to be done. You have to learn how to do it with your all, so that you don't end up miserable just doing something for the sake of doing something, or doing it for the sake of getting paid. Ne? It can be extremely dangerous if you choose that path. So I coached myself into saying, look, it didn't happen instantly. I even had, teachers, they are very, very good people in society. They like one of my tutors in my chemistry, I think it was my chemistry tutor, she picked up that the child looks bright, but her heart is not here. She's like, what's going on? Then we talked about how I didn't want to be there, how I wanted to change course, and I mean, aviation is not even offered at UNAM where I was. And the other factor that stopped me from doing aviation is money. It was offered by NTA and it was costing hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, my friend. Where will I get that if I'm telling you that I couldn't even get $8? And in that UNAM, I had my loan. Ne? We had a loan. I know as NSFAF is hunting us, but that's not what I'm worried about now. We had a loan, and then it was, yeah, you know, it was difficult because if you change that course to go to whatever course you desire, I think you forfeit the payment. I'm not sure if that's still the case. So I had to really decide, will I have any way to get the funds for that course if I change now to whatever course that I decided? So it was challenging. I didn't even do that well in my first year because my heart was not there. The following year, I had to focus because I knew I started this. I need to finish whatever that is I started. I was struggling a lot. Just, you know, the way I got to school was the municipal bus. If you're in the capital city of Namibia, you know what those are. Big buses, and that time, a trip wherever you are going is just $5. But even that $5, my friend, the $5 was not there. When you get to university, that $2 for a fat cake so you can have something in your stomach. Foreign things to me. I don't know what that is. Not to mention Kama the luxury of going with a lunchbox to school. There is no such things. You get a place where to sleep, and I'm lucky because there are others that also didn't even have shelter. And I'm not from the capital city. I was to be accommodated in other people's houses. And this city life, most of it is costing money. So how people manage their houses, that's none of your business. Where if you eat, you eat. If you don't eat, you don't complain either. And you know, guys. So I got so determined to just wanting to get things done. Like, if I have to go to UNAM and I have to foot, I will foot. Even this day, if I have to go somewhere and I don't have taxi fare, I will foot. There are always alternatives that are not as extreme as footing. Maybe asking people for help. I have asked for help. I have been helped. That's why I made a video that says it takes a village, you know, to raise a child. And I want God to bless those people abundantly. As for me, I want to pay it forward. Whether it's I mentor someone so that they understand that there's more to life than just focusing everything on your struggles, or if I can pitch in resources wise, I will gladly do that, and I don't want to be paid back. Okay? If I can pitch in, it means I can do so without needing to be repaid back. Because if it's something exorbitant, clearly I cannot afford. So, I think I'm losing the struggles. There are so many. I've been through university 3 times. So, 3 times the struggles. UNAM had its own struggles, financial, yeah, and then modules got hectic because university is not the same as high school. I almost didn't graduate. That was a rough patch. So if you know you have been doing a research, I think you know the hiccups that may come with research. Not everyone goes through that, but people just think, yeah, you graduated top of the class and there was no struggle. There was a struggle. Yeah, the highlight of the struggles was me going to South Africa. Completely my first time there as a resident. I needed a study visa. Visa processes, they are not the most friendly. I went only to find out I'm not even on the school system because my application lacked a SAQA evaluation certificate. So I couldn't go in the hostel, although there was a space for me because I didn't have a student card because my registration was blocked. Now I had to find a way to come up with 4,000 something dollars to pay for a SAQA application. I'm a student, Mina. Where will I find that? So I did what I knew how to do best. I created a WhatsApp group. I had a smartphone. And the 10 people that I still remember to this day on that group. And I told them, I'm stranded in South Africa. I cannot come back. My application is here, but they just need this certificate so that I can be allowed in class. I wasn't about to drop out. I wasn't about to come back to Namibia. So some of those people are my foster families. No biology, nothing, Sometimes you complain that your cousins, your aunties are not doing anything. If those people are not doing anything, it's okay. There will be people that can do something. And I can personally testify to that, because people that I call my family now, they are not necessarily tied to me by biology. And you'll be amazed not only at how much people are willing to do, but at the funding opportunities that are there, especially for your academic advancement. Let me tell you that the master's degree that I did was completely research based, and I didn't pay a penny for it. I was funded. That's why I got so excited recently when I got funded to go present my research findings. Yeah? So guys, ask those that have been through something, especially when they talk openly like me. Yeah? I'm talking openly so that I can guide you. If you want to further your studies and you are looking for a certain program that I'm aware of and how the funding works, ask me. I will not withhold that information because it's so vital. It's so vital. And I know, because I wish I knew before I could stress all out. I hope the story is not too long. I hope you understand that everyone has a story. Everyone has most probably struggled. Everyone may still be struggling, because look, even when you start working or earning your own income, it doesn't mean struggles ended. I still struggle to this day. I don't want to discourage you that at every stage there's struggles, so you must not go there. No, go, because those struggles, they first of all help you build your character. It can also destroy you, but it's sometimes up here. How you look at situations is very important, because we could be in the same situations, but we may not all come out. We cannot save everyone, but we hope that everyone will get a message out of something, So just know that when you struggle, when it becomes tough, there is a way. Sometimes it's actually how bad you want something that keeps you going, or your whys. Why do you need this done? Do you only need this done because it's a mandate? Did someone ask you? Or do you really have a strong foundation to why you need it? Like, my motivation is I needed to change the situation at home. My home situation is very, very humble. Even as I speak, I said I'm the first from my maternal grandmother's line to go to university. So you can imagine, if something needs to be done to those that are very close, most likely to face very few of us that are pushing. So I had that background to push me. I still have a lot to do, so I still keep pushing. But sometimes if you don't have any motivation, you don't have a reason why you're doing something, you might as well stop doing it. Or when you get faced by a small challenge, it doesn't matter how big or small the challenge, but when you just get faced the challenge, your first thought is giving up. There's a thin line, I think, where people confuse giving up with I don't know. Okay, there's sometimes being too persistent, where something is not working out and you need to back out. But there is sometimes where you just didn't try hard enough. You need to try hard enough, and once you have exhausted everything in you, then you can give up, and you will even have your peace of mind that I gave it my all. So I hope this shed some light. I can't believe I've been talking for 20 minutes now. So thank you so much for watching up until this time, if you're still watching. So I'll see you next time. If you have comments, views, drop them in the comment section. I'll be there. Thank you. Goodbye.